Hi, I want to talk about this American Stonehenge for you guys. I have not been out here. This is on my to-do list. I've heard about this. Now, this is an ancient site out on the east coast of America, and it's in New Hampshire, and it's a ancient site, and they believe it's maybe 4,000 years old. And it's several rock shelters and buildings. They don't know who built this. They can't link it to any Native American tribe. And this whole area with these structures is also set up as a calendar, and they can still use it today to determine solar and lunar events of the year. Now, this site was studied by the late Dr. Barry Fell from Harvard. And for those of you not familiar with Dr. Barry Fell, he was a zoologist, a PhD in zoology out of Harvard, and he became interested in petroglyphs and epigraphy and stonework in the Americas because he started to notice, as several other people in the past, that some of these things looked to be Celtic or Phoenician or Iberian in origin, and some of the scripts that were found on petroglyphs as well. And he began to research this and received quite a bit of negativity from colleagues in academia because of his research and conclusions. But he wrote several books, and I have them. And I think he did a very good job of starting to put some of this together. There have been other people like Gloria Farley, who didn't have a PhD. She doesn't really get a lot of credit, but she was also doing something similar. And in the 1800s, Ignatius Donnelly started to notice a lot of the similarities in cultures with the archaeological artifacts that were available at the time. And there's other people that have looked at ceremonies in Native American cultures and compared them to either Jewish ceremonies or other ceremonies, and noted the similarities of holidays and timing in their rituals as well. And others, such as I guess this new guy Cyrus Gordon, have looked at the linguistics and concluded Hebrew and Greek and Phoenician are all the same or stem from something very a common language, which is the Phoenician. And also they've looked at the Minoan script as well. But at this American Stonehenge, they believe that they have inscriptions throughout the site that are in Ogham, Phoenician, and Iberian. The Ogham would be Celtic. Phoenician, we know, is in that Middle Eastern area of modern day Israel and Syria. And Iberian would be more like Spain, that area. Now, I looked at some of the stonework, and I had, I don't really consider this similar to any kind of adobe structure out west, but I did see something that I do think that this resembles, and it's a monastery site in a place called Skelling Michael by Ireland. And Skelling Michael is an island, one of the largest of the two Skelling Islands, just west of Ireland. And a Christian monastery was founded on this island between the 6th and 8th century. So it's about 12, maybe 1,200, 1,400 years old. and it was abandoned in the late 12th century. But if you look at the stonework, it does look similar, in my opinion, to the stonework in America's Stonehenge. The way that the stones and the rock are laid. Now, I don't know if they have any beehive type structures, but they did have that in the Ireland. But they also had a lot of the rectangular with the windows and the walls, which is, from what I can see, something very similar here at this American Stonehenge. So at some point I need to get out there. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I need to go and see what is out there and what it looks like. And some of this has been documented, but it's in black and white in Barry Fell's, some of his last book. But you can find a few things on the internet. But in my opinion, it's the same thing. Now, like I said, the American Stonehenge is approximately 4,000 years old, whereas this Christian monastery is maybe about 1,400. But that doesn't mean that the building technique isn't from the same people, and they just kind of carried on with that. So very interesting. It is definitely something I'd like to look into more. The other thing I noticed too with this American Stonehenge, just from some of these pictures online, it almost looks like a partial soddy, where some of these structures are built in the ground and the ground covers it. And that's something the Irish did. They would build a lot of their some of these homes in the hills, and in America they would call it a soddy, which would be when some of the settlers came over. That's what they would build, a sod. It's called a sod house, but that's what they would build to get started. They would build in the earth, and it would be a little cheaper because the earth would be part of the structure, but the earth would be put over the roof, or like I said, oftentimes it would be in a hill. But it's called a sod, S-O-D, house, or a soddy. That's S-O-D-D-Y. And like I said, that was used in America during frontier settlement in Canada and the United States. In the prairies, sometimes it lacked, the building material such as wood or stone, but sod, that's the thick grass and the mud, was abundant. So that's what they would build from. And as I said, in Ireland, I've seen pictures of similar types of homes in the hills, and it almost too sounds like something they talked about, the little people building their homes in the hills, actually inside the hills, which sounds like a sad home as well. So I do think there's connections, and this is something worth looking into further down the road, but I just wanted to point out these interesting similarities. So thank you.